All right. Hello. My name is Kelsey Lietzen, and welcome to my project. So for this semester, I decided to create a course that would instruct secondary level teachers how to effectively and efficiently incorporate simple metacognitive strategies into their curriculums in order to increase student organizational skills and content knowledge. So I would imagine this would be something that teachers would work through in a professional development type setting. So moving forward, before getting too far in, I just wanted to just give an overview of what I mean when I say metacognitive strategies and examples. So when I was getting feedback at the beginning of the semester on some of the descriptions and things, I know this is some questions some people had. So I really used two books to help, along with my own experience using these strategies. But one was Teach Students How to Learn by Sandra McGuire, and The Boss of My Brain by Donna Wilson and Marcus Conyers. So there's a ton of research out there. Those are just the two books that I found helpful here. So metacognitive strategies are just, metacognition is the idea of thinking about your own thinking and your own learning, being conscious of that. And these strategies support student growth and learning and transfer of content knowledge and organizational skills. Those are the two that I decided to focus on. And as I was reading, just learning more that there are kind of two tenets to working with metacognitive strategies in the classroom. One is explicitly teaching students about metacognition, and then the second is using strategies to help them, learn how to think about their own thinking. So first, how it can actually benefit them, the whole idea of it. So some strategies, I won't go through all these in depth by any means, but they're very, very simple things like previewing, reading, active reading, exit tickets, bell ringers, for content knowledge, organizational skills. This is definitely how I've used metacognitive strategies in the classroom to help support these types of skills. But Google Forms, public class checklists, polls, assignment trackers, bell ringers, exit tickets, all just, again, very simple things that make a pretty powerful impact in the classroom. So moving forward, course description. So the reason I decided to do this project is, one, I've really only ever created instruction for high school students. So I teach 10th grade English, and I've taught 9th grade before. But I really wanted to try doing something a little bit different of creating a course that was meant for teachers. So I know I've experienced, I've had a lot of experience with professional development courses, either created by my colleagues or from outside, places. And I've always been interested in that. So I wanted to push myself a little bit there. Also, I have found great success using these reflective strategies in the classroom. That's why I decided on this particular topic. So I planned for this course to be an asynchronous self-paced course that would instruct secondary teachers how to integrate these strategies into their classroom. I chose this to be a tech-based instruction because, one, my learners would be teachers at the school I work at, and most of the professional development is done online, which was happening even before COVID, especially over the summer, things like that. So also learners have many different experiences using these types of strategies. Some are very familiar, some are not. So having it be self-paced would give the learners the opportunity to engage as they need to. As I did a needs assessment, the learners specifically for this really would be any secondary teacher, but specifically I looked at teachers at the school I teach at, which is George Mason High School. So teachers reported minimal to moderate knowledge of how to integrate metacognitive strategies into the classroom. Most reflective practices happened after summative assessments, but not really during formative work. And also I work at an IB school district, the International Baccalaureate, where self-reflection is one aspect of the learner profile. So there is a motivation, from administration, from MYP and DP coordinators at the school, to have teachers know how to use these type of practices and teach metacognition explicitly and use these strategies because students are asked to be self-reflective. That is a goal of the learning model at our school. So moving on, I'm just going to show you what the modules, what the training would actually look like for a learner. So a few things to note before moving forward. When I was doing I did topical analysis, or when I was doing all of my like goals, needs assessment, looking at, okay, what are the goals for this, and creating objectives. I originally created 5 objectives that were pretty broad and pretty, like they weren't super specific. But as I worked through really all of the instructional design messaging, realizing like, oh, I need to kind of go back and make them more specific. So that's when I added a few objectives about metacognitive strategies to meet content and organizational needs, and not just metacognitive strategies in general. And that made this a lot more focused, what you'll see moving forward. So I did, for a task analysis, did a topical analysis, because this is really about understanding a certain type of content and then synthesizing it to use on their own. So that just lent itself best to a topical analysis. All right, so this would be the first screen of the module, or of the course. It's called "What Did I Learn? How to Integrate Metacognitive Strategies into the Secondary Classroom." So I have 5 modules. The first and last one are just the introduction, reviewing objectives, things like that. Then the modules 1, 2, and 3 have all of the content. So the first module is looking at necessary terminology and research, and I'll talk about why I chose to do that when I walk through that. Module 2 is actually using the strategy, so practicing using different strategies, and then module 3 is synthesizing that information, and learners will list out different goals and strategies they want to use in their own classrooms. So this is, there we go. Module 0, it's just 1 page of having a written explanation about the course, kind of the 3 big objectives. So I didn't list all 7 just because a lot of them, the 3 modules, objectives 2 through 5 were kind of lumped together because they all work together well there. So a few things to note. One is everything is color-coded. That was some feedback that I got when I first posted my storyboard, and it was a great piece of feedback. So I think it really helps this flow a little bit better. And then also I added a tracker up here. That wasn't something I did at first, but when I went back through this, after kind of not looking at it for a little bit, realizing it wasn't super clear which module the learner was on, so I added that, and that was really helpful. So this slide would be a narrated slide, and then there's also this button down here, click to read text out loud. Any slide where there's not a video, there's that option, so that if they need anything reread, that would be great. And then there's this button up here that would click to go back to the main page, which would then be this first page. So learners could click on this, which would then take them to module 1. Again, this is the intro slide, what they'll learn, what they'll be able to do. Everything is yellow, our little tracker up here. This would be a narrated slide. So for this module, there are 3 videos. So the content comes through these short, like 2 to 6 minute videos. That would be screencast slides, kind of like what this is here. So each kind of area there, category, has a video with different, for this one it'd be different definitions. I would also add, like little pictures, kind of clip art of like a brain or like thinking bubbles, things like that, that relate to the content. Then after each video, there is a review question. So this one would just be matching the definitions. After all of it is answered, the correct answer would pop up on the same screen, and that elaborative feedback would appear as well. And at first I had all of the review questions at the end. So I had like 3 videos, then like 5 review questions. But as I was working through it, I think it would be kind of overwhelming to watch 3 videos and then answer questions after it, trying to remember kind of which was which. So I decided to move the questions after each video instead. And I think it flows a little bit more nicely. So then this would be the video on the research. Then there would be 2 multiple choice questions, same idea, answer. The feedback would pop up on the same screen. Metacognitive strategies, same thing, 2 questions. And then this would be the summary page of here's what you're able to do based on that. And then just some clear messaging on, okay, you can either go back through the module or click module 2 up here, or click the arrow to move on. So the second module is practicing the strategies. So while the strategies were listed and defined in module 1, in module 2, there are videos on, one, how to actually use the strategies to support content knowledge, and then practice through a scenario. And same with the organizational and study skills. So first would be a video about the different strategies and applications of the strategies to help students more deeply engage in the content knowledge. And then I gave a space for teachers to start thinking, okay, if these are the kind of strategies that can be used to meet this particular need, maybe reflect on, okay, what are some ideas that teachers could use? This would just be especially for reference and practice. They would have to put something in the box to move forward, but also answers will be sent to administration to review at the end of the course. So same thing. Here then we have a content knowledge scenario practice. There would be a multiple choice question, answer, same thing as module 1. Feedback would show up on the exact same slide. So go through the same process with study skills, video, reflection, scenario, multiple choice on the same slide, and then that would be the end of that module. So this is definitely the practice one. Module 3, this is really where the learners are going to synthesize the information and practice. Okay, how do they transfer everything they just learned into their own current context? So I know when I've been a part of professional development, something that can be frustrating is that there might not be space to actually really reflect and apply the content so that they can use it in their particular curriculums or classrooms. So I did want to give space for that. So this is a shorter module. The first thing they would do is create goals. So they would, there would be just some space for them to think about, okay, what do their students need in terms of retaining content knowledge? What do their students need in terms of organizational skills? Creating some goals there. There would be a text box for reflection. And then there would be another text box for reflection on, okay, actually, what strategies would you use? There would also be a clickable link here where the learner could review the different strategies that were given, as well as, maybe think of other ones as well. So the last summary slide here. The last little module is, again, just one page of review, what they learned of the objectives. So overall, I really enjoyed creating this project. It was good to think how to create instruction for different learners than I'm used to, and especially the kind of instruction that I typically have to receive as a teacher, as a classroom teacher. So thank you so much for watching this presentation and taking the time out of your morning, day, or night, whenever time it is that you're watching this. And yeah, I just thank you.